Morning, everybody. Hi, Michaela Brake.
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
We're great. What are you, 5 days in the 09 now?
Yeah.
How's the city of sales compared to Tauranga?
Oh, look.
Apart from missing your husband and your dog.
Yeah. I've got to Google like 24 hours before going anywhere where the address is, where I can park. Have to adjust like the timings so I know how much traffic there's going to be. So yeah, there's a lot of things to adapt to, but we'll get there eventually. We're here for a while. We're here till mid-September.
Yeah, you are up here for the Wahs.
Yep.
What's that been like the early days in camp?
Yeah, it's been extremely overwhelming for me personally. I'm in my third training yesterday, whereas the girls have now gone through 2.5 weeks of pre-season training together. But for me, being a sevens player, there's a lot of rules and roles of the game of league that I need to adapt to. And it's obviously not coming naturally. So I'm kind of standing there just like staring into space while I'm trying to figure out what this drill is. But hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, it will be a little bit more natural to me and I won't have to do the extras at the end and do some video sessions as much. So, yeah, learning a lot along the way. So it's enjoyable.
Is there anything in particular? Like, are you getting tackled and going for a breakdown and forgetting that you actually have to stand up and play the ball?
Nah,
is it that simple?
Nah, to be honest, one that I keep catching myself out on is not coming back on side. So, like, if there's if there's a ruck by me, I'm obviously standing by it like a pillar.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting to go backwards because I'm hearing Paul Poe or Ron yell, "Come back, Michaela!" I'm like, oh, crap, that's right. So, yeah, so that's definitely not natural to me yet. I'm used to playing the ball now, but I have to think about it a lot. Right. So if I have gone to ground, I have to think to myself, okay, I've got to go to my feet, then roll the ball under my foot, rather than naturally snapping back for a staple. I haven't done a lot of contact stuff as such, so the turnover part I haven't really tested yet, but I'm not going to let you jinx myself and I'm going to be okay, so I won't go for a jackal hopefully next week.
There you go. The sevens leading try scorer is potentially always offside by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what the offside rule is in sevens.
No, exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
But if it's the McCaw school, if they're not going to call you on it, keep doing it.
Keep doing it, yeah. I'm 10 metres offside, but they can't see that.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Hopefully the NRLW refs are understanding that I'm still new and they just let me get away with it. You never know. Hopefully.
Never can tell. There are plenty of Kiwis in the NRLW this year. Actually, there's a heap of them. So it's
a lot of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a great season. I'm looking forward to seeing how you go. But one of the questions that we have been kicking around the office is like we hear about just how fit our sevens team is, but then we also hear all these legendary stories about Warriors pre-season and guys chundering into buckets and things like that because they go so hard. How have you found how do the trainings compare from a I guess from a physicality point of view?
If you don't follow Blyde on Instagram, do, because she's been keeping everyone up to date with her chundering.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's really hard, if I'm honest. Bearing in mind I'm going into this week after the girls have already done 2 weeks of pre-season, so I haven't warmed myself into it. I'm just straight in. The trainings are very, very different. I guess you could say they're very non-stop for about an hour to an hour and a half, whereas sevens trainings, they're very, very skill focused. So we'll do a skill and then we'll stop and we'll talk about it. We very rarely do a lot of things under fatigue. We'll do like 7-on-7 at the end because we have the numbers and we can. But at the moment with league, we're split usually into 2 groups. One group will do one drill and then do that for 4 minutes, and then another group's doing another drill, and then we switch. We have bugger all time of drinking water and stopping and talking. So that's something that I'm having to adapt to quite quickly, is just the constant moving. But also got to remember that I'm used to playing for 14 minutes and then getting a break and then 14 minutes again, whereas this time I think it's 80 minutes. Just like non-stop. Yeah. So a lot of things to get my body back to being used to. But in saying that, I'm super excited about the challenge. It will come naturally to me as we go along. But yeah, just learning a lot at the moment, literally a student with everything.
Yeah, it's interesting because probably a couple of years ago now, I was doing the Rugby Run show on here with Justin Marshall. We had your mum on.
Oh, cool.
Ahead of the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I asked her was, did Michaela think about going to 15s so she could play a Rugby World Cup on home soil, potentially lift one?
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't think so. We've talked about it, but I don't think she ever really considered it. So that surprised me when you signed for the Warriors, because I thought you would have done that. So what was the difference for you in this challenge versus that challenge?
I've still got a little bit of PTSD because I tried to tackle in COVID. We obviously had no sevens because of COVID, so we went and played club rugby. So I played for Rangiuru back home in Tauranga, and then was in the Bay of Plenty Volcanic squad. And a week out from our first round game, we were doing a contact-ish drill, tackled one of our props and broke my jaw. So got a little bit of PTSD from that. Other than that, I didn't want to go into another high-performance environment with an extreme lack of 15s. I would have had to put myself in a place where I was confident to be in that environment. I would have had to have played Super Rugby Opiki. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to play sevens. And so I just really had to make a strong decision of what I wanted to do with my career and what was best for me. Obviously, I've never played league before, so it's funny saying, the lack of 15s when I've never played a game of league in my life. But with it being part-time and at home, I really wanted to push to be a part of this competition. And I think there's plenty of 15s players that have put their hand up and really marked, stamped their mark in that black jersey, with Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe coming back. You've got Caitlin Vahakolo, who's playing good rugby, Aisha Letienga, who's also probably the starting winger as well for the Black Ferns. So I think they're quite good. So for me personally, it was about challenging myself in a completely new environment where I knew nobody and a new management and just a completely new game where I have to learn completely new rules. So that was more attractive to me.
On that, Blyde, we have a text through on 8833. Can you ask her if she has Kiwis aspirations? Also, does she watch Origin Women's? And I'll add to that, what's the plan post this year, Sevens, Olympics?
Yeah, I'm staying present with the Warriors. For me, I want to make sure that this Warriors team plays some really good footy. I don't want to say, I obviously want to win the premiership, but Ron talks a lot about culture and how we worked for each other as a team. The results will naturally come later. So for me personally, I just want to be present with the Warriors for this season. I think it would be great to potentially one day play for the Kiwis, but at the moment I'm so focused on just getting onside that I can't think any further than that. And I have full intentions of going back to sevens. 2028 is definitely a goal of mine for the LA Olympics. So
there we go. There's an exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, we've voiced it.
She's committed.
It now.
Yeah.
I know I have said it a couple of times, so now I have to follow through with it. So no, I've definitely voiced that I want to come back to sevens. But it's not about just doing my one season with the Warriors and then buggering off. I want to make the most out of this opportunity and grow this team the way that it deserves to be, and just make sure that everyone represents this jersey with the pride and honour that it deserves to be, and just be a part of a culture and a club that's extremely unique.
Why did you make the switch? Why league specifically? Was there a moment when you thought, man, that's something that I really want to have in my career?
Yeah, well, the funny story of how it all started was after the Paris Olympics, I drove home to see my family. After
from Auckland, not from Paris, just to clarify.
Yeah. I didn't drive across the border. So I came home from Paris. I spent 3 days in my house in Papamoa, MIQ, by myself. It was amazing. It was the best time. And then I drove home to Taranaki to see my family, who I hadn't seen for a few months. And I literally drove up into their driveway, and my agent called me and he said, there's an NRLW coach that's interested. And I was like, nah. I honestly was so focused on just having a break, having a bourbon and coke with my dad and just chilling out.
God, you're a bogan.
I am, yeah. Blame my dad for that.
Having a break.
Yeah. And so I was like, nah, can't be bothered thinking about that. Not my priority. I literally just signed with NZRU for 2 years, so 25 and 26. So that was my focus. And then after talking to my family about it, talking to mum and dad, talking to my husband, they were like, why not? You don't have Com Games, you don't have World Cup in 26, so this is the time for you to try something new. I went back and I thought about it for a while. I was like, we'll see how it goes. If I do play league, I want it to be for the Warriors because I want to be at home. But I was getting offers from other clubs, and so I was like, we'll just think on it. However, Gossie and I, we went to Sean Johnson's last home game against the Bulldogs at Go Media Stadium, and man, that environment, that atmosphere, and that energy is second to none. It was insane. It is completely packed, completely full. And, the Warriors weren't going to make playoffs at that point. They were done. But it was all about, obviously, Sean Johnson and celebrating him and what he'd done for the club. And I just sat in that crowd and I was like, man, this is cool. Like, I want this many people yelling at our refs and the Warriors girls when we play in 2025. And I think that was the one moment for me because we don't get that a lot in Sevens. Obviously, it's quite a party. People dress up and you're there all day watching Sevens. But it's not that type of passionate fans where everyone has turned up in your jersey, yelling at you, yelling at the ref. It's a whole different type of energy. And I wanted to be a part of it. And so about 2 months later, I signed the piece of paper after Ron convinced me to. So thank Ronald Griffiths because he really said all the right things to me.
And thank the Mount Smart crowd. It sounds like the Mount Smart crowd was the main thing that got you to sign that piece of paper.
Absolutely. Like, it's just different, man. Like, you'll never see that type of energy at a Super Rugby game. You might see it probably the next closest that I would honestly say is FMG Stadium when the Chiefs play. They're probably the next best crowd. But
and similar, like close to the field.
Yeah, and I think that's where rugby union can do it better, is having smaller stadiums where the fans are closer to the field. You're not opening a 50,000 seat stand for 20,000, or if 20,000 people. Smaller stadiums, smaller crowd, but closer atmosphere that lifts the energy of the rugby game. And I think that's where the Warriors have done it really, really well.
Are you said earlier in the chat, I want to do this season with the Warriors and do it well. Does that suggest that it's a one and done situation for you?
I have only signed for 1 year. One and done. I don't know if I'd put it in that category. One and let's see is probably where I would put it. I'm in a place now where I'm probably comfortable to experience.
Yeah.
Experiment, that's the word. Oh my God. Experiment a little bit more with my career. I've done literally everything I've wanted to do in Sevens. And so for me, this is the time that I can try something new, spread my wings, leave the Sevens nest and seriously test myself as a footy player. And league was the best opportunity for me to do that. So, I think it wasn't a matter of just like getting it off my chest. It was just giving it a crack, see how we go. Obviously put my best foot forward every day, every training, and hopefully, fingers crossed, every game. And we'll reassess after. But yeah, be present as much as I can for the next few months, and then reassess later.
A lot of your mates have done it already.
Yes.
Tyler, Stacey, Tanika.
Yeah.
Did you chat much with them?
Loads. I spoke to Stacey quite a lot. Stacey is someone who is all about making sure that she's doing what's best for her. And so I knew that she was going to be very honest with me about the program. Obviously, she went to the Broncos. So the Warriors, this is the first time the Warriors have been in the NRLW for a few years. So it's obvious, would probably be a little bit different. But she absolutely loved it. So did Tanika. Tyler, that's why Tyler signed for 2 years, right? She has kept coming back since she made her debut in 2023. Niall Williams-Guthrie's the same. Gail Broughton was the first one that actually made the switch in 2022 after being with our team for 10 years, our Sevens team. And we were like, oh, God, sis, like, really? Like, why are you doing that?
Why? Why do you think you had that reaction?
I think
it was
because
so new?
It was so new. So it was still, I think back in 2022, it was still still growing to the point where contracts were negotiated. Some girls still actually it's still part-time now, obviously. So girls were still working. And so there wasn't a lot of certainty. But I think obviously when you're in the Black Ferns Sevens team, you're quite loyal to the jersey. And I honestly have teased all those girls so many times. Like when they've gone and played 15s or league, I'm like, oh, where's your loyalty to the Sevens team, man? Like, what a traitor. Now I've gone and done it, so that's a bit awkward. But yeah, Gail honestly just fell in love with it. The environment, the people, the game itself. And so now that more girls are doing it, you've got Azalia Maka, you've got Kerry Johnson from Super Rugby, Opiki Blues, who've gone to the Broncos now. Everyone's doing it. And so for me, it was like, okay, well, if all these girls are giving it a crack, why can't I? So that's why I decided just to follow through, because I got good feedback, good news. Okay, I'll sign the piece of paper then.
How is it set up at the moment if you're going to play Super Opeki and NRLW? You can still do both at the moment? I mean, I know that they're both going to grow, so I guess it's how long it can stay like that.
Yeah, for sure. Super Rugby Opeki is at the beginning of the year, so it goes from February to April, Mayish. And then NRLW kicks off in July. So if you want to do both, you pretty much only have 2 to 3 weeks of a transition between your end of season 15s to the start of pre-season for NRLW. I think that's great. I think it's brilliant because FPC, unfortunately, here in New Zealand, for women, you don't get paid. Compare that to Bunnings Cup, where an average club player gets paid, 50, 60K to play for their region. Women don't get paid to play FPC here. And so if there are some girls that aren't quite cracking Black Ferns or aren't quite cracking international stage and want to keep playing quality footy and get paid to do it, NRLW is the answer. And so if they're able to do both, let's celebrate it. Women should be able to be paid to play quality footy and be supported financially. And so if there are girls here in New Zealand who can play Super Rugby Opiki, don't make Black Ferns, but want to continue to get paid to play rugby and transition to NRLW, I think that's great. But if their ambitions are 15s and they stay in 15s, that's also great. The options are there. There never used to be that option. So I think the opportunity for women to be able to pick and choose is great, and to negotiate contracts and get paid to play very good rugby, I think is something that we should all be talking about and celebrating.
Yeah. Now, not everybody's obviously going to be on break money, but if you wanted to, as a female athlete, could you be a full-time athlete with Opeki and NRLW?
For sure. Absolutely. The beauty of NRLW being part-time, so the active hours for NRLW is from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday mornings. I don't know about any other squads. So you can do something on Wednesday and Friday. Girls part-time work before training. So it's not like they can just rely on the NRLW payment. They can go and do part-time work. Some girls are teachers in our team. A couple are working at a couple of the sponsorship offices for the Warriors. So we're keeping them busy. And I think that's also great, having these young girls who are, some of them have never been paid to play rugby before, but still getting them in adult life, because rugby's not everything. And it won't be forever. So it's important that we keep pushing those young girls to either study or work part-time elsewhere. So then when they do decide to finish their rugby career, they've got a backup option. So it's important that we still encourage that side of it as well.
Because you've been in a professional environment since you were, 17, do you almost feel this, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but job maybe to teach those less experienced players who haven't been professional athletes before, like what it's like, how to be on TV, how to talk on a radio station, how to be themselves and be comfortable with it. Because you've only learned, I've known you a long time, but you've only learned how to do that in the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, we get media training quite frequently in the Black Fern 7 squad. We have someone come in and usually it's only about once a year, and they'll, ask questions and then they'll teach you how to answer that question. The one thing that I'm definitely bringing into this environment is my natural habits of professionalism. So with recovery, food, training prep, extras after training, it obviously doesn't help that I'm brand new to the team. So I have to do that at the moment because I need to catch up. But by naturally showing those habits, we'll hopefully show those girls that if you want to be professional or want to be a part of a professional environment, these are the habits that you've got to incorporate into your life. But yes, the media part's really important. Honestly, the hype is huge. We're going to be on TV quite frequently, obviously. There's Sky Sport ads of the girls that will be on TV. And so I think it's important that these young girls know how to pursue themselves on TV live under pressure with either crowd or a camera in their face. Like, it can be quite a lot for some people. So I'm not going to be probably teaching as such, but hopefully by them listening to either, podcasts or listening to me getting interviewed, or if they do have any questions, they're more than happy to come to me, and I can kind of guide them on how you can work around wordings and how to answer a question without answering it, especially if it's a question that's a little bit, too deep and meaningful. So, yeah, there's definitely that element that I'm more than happy to help out with the girls that have never been professional before.
I know you're still learning. Do you know what position you're going to play?
We've done 2 tactical trainings, and I've been put on the wing, which is fair enough. I was kind of like, maybe centre, but now that I've been training with the girls, I'm like, nah, actually I might stay wide, because honestly, we do contact on Tuesday. Holy, like, running into these forwards, it's not easy. I'm waiting for when we go backs and forwards, but at the moment we're all mixing and mingling with the contact stuff. But I'm like, can we do just contact with the backs, because they're my size. These forwards are not my size, and they're much bigger shot. And the other thing with league, we did a tackling drill on Tuesday night. Obviously my habit is to dip from the hips and knees and drive, whereas they're all about staying upright like this. I'm like, on my face, no, I need to dip and drive and wrap the legs. But there's all these different parts of the game that are acceptable, because anything from here up in sevens is a penalty. Yep. But here up is fine in league. So I'm going to have to wear headgear. I'm going to have to wear 3 mouth guards. It's going to be different, man, with that contact, holy.
Yeah, the sideline is your friend, though, eh?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, sideline in a minimal space, because I'll just run into it.
Yeah, we were talking about league fandom before we got on air, because I'm old, obviously, and I supported the Eels when they used to be good, which was a million years ago. What about you? Have you ever had a following in league, a team that you followed or players that you followed?
Yeah, I was talking to Chapman about it. Not necessarily a team, but definitely players like Simon Mannering, Stacey Jones, Stephen Price, we were saying before. That era was the era that I grew up watching on TV, and they are legends of the game. They, I think, really portrayed what it meant to be a Warrior. Simon Mannering played over 300 games for the Warriors. Sean Johnson played, 260 something. So I think having those committed players who were loyal to the jersey is really special, because NRL is quite interesting, because you see players chopping and changing clubs because they can, and that's fine. I think that's, exciting for NRL for you to be able to do. It's the same with NRLW at the moment. There's lots of girls that are transitioning into different clubs. Obviously, financial support is a massive encouragement for that. But for the men, when you look at Simon Mannering, who committed to the Warriors for 300 games, you don't get many people that are like that. And I think it's important that we celebrate those that are loyal to their jersey. So I didn't necessarily hardcore fangirl a team, but those eras, that area of players were the ones where I was like, man, they are legends. They are cool people who really committed to the Warriors club and jersey and represented them with pride.
Are we going with Up the Wahs still? Or are we going with Up the Wahine?
Yeah, I think Up the Wahine. Yeah. We haven't really been allowed to use it on social media just yet. I think it's because they're still... Actually, I don't even know why we can't
trademarking it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably. That's actually the better answer. We're hardcore Up the Wahs and Up the Wahines. That's the other thing as well. You hear that anywhere across the world, and you know exactly who they're talking about. And the Mana Wave's just been going viral, even though it was just a brother on the road that was, holding a can stop go thing. Honestly, it's just a culture that is unreal. You can't compare it to anything else. It is such a powerful culture that so many people love, and I want to get in behind it, and I want to be a part of it.
Are there any players out there at the moment that you kind of look at, you watch playing rugby league and think that's kind of like someone I can model my game on? I mean, I look at you, knowing the gas that you've got, and I think Josh Addo-Carr.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking woman. I'm thinking Jamie Chapman. She's quite a popular name in the NRLW with her speed. So I kind of hope I come up against her, to be honest, because my competitive nature is like, oh yeah, all right, let's go then.
Yeah.
And then I look at players like, obviously, Gail Broughton. I mean, why wouldn't you look at her? She is unbelievable with ball in hand. Meli Hufanga, who plays for the Broncos as well, who's transitioned from 15s. You know, there's so many girls who have really made an impact and have stamped their mark in league. And I think that's really special in regards to the growth of the game and the growth of their brand and their reputation as well. So I'm really excited to get amongst those names. I obviously support the Warriors men's. Luke Metcalf is playing some really good footy. He's up there with, Dally M. So I think we can push for that, celebrate that. So definitely, obviously, full support of the Warriors, but I'm looking out for the Chicks and seeing what they're doing on the NRLW because they're going to be my opposition. So I want to be better than them somehow.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. We've actually had a text through asking, do you think with the amount of rugby players that are going to play rugby league now, that we might actually see some of the rugby league girls that you play with who have always been leagueies go, I might give this union thing a crack. Go play some old pecky or sevens.
Yeah, are you recruiting, Michaela?
Do you know what? So many. The funny thing is that a lot of people are like, nah, bugger sevens, like the fitness, the work, the running. Yeah, fair, it's hard. The sevens running component is very hard. But I have this last 5 days of training, my respect for league has gone through the roof. Like, it is absolutely insane. These women are tough, man. They don't care if they've just had an elbow to the face. They don't even wear mouth guards really in contact training. I was the only one that wore a mouth guard in contact training on Tuesday.
Wow.
So I was like, well, naturally I have to, teeth, concussion, etc. They don't care. They're just all in. So maybe one day. I think with the hype of NRLW at the moment, it will be quite difficult to transition league players to union. But there's been so many union and sevens players who have transitioned into league. So whether that switch is easier than going league to union, I'm not sure. But, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck did it.
Yeah.
So if he can do it, surely other people can do it too. Maybe that will be, something that will grow with the women's game where they play NRLW and then maybe some NRLW players will come play Super Rugby O-Picky. That would be great, spread the fan base, because there's league fans are hearty league fans who would only watch league. But if they support a player and they go to union, then they suddenly start following union as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with at the moment for myself where my fan base are primarily sevens. They'll come and watch league or watch me play league, and then they're a fan of league. So yeah, we'll have a crossover of fans as well, other than just players.
Awesome. Just one last text, Blyde. 100% agree, Michaela. All the very best. Gold in LA, great goal. Do whatever makes life easier and happy for you to be at your best come the Olympics. Awesome chat. Love the honesty. Please get rugby men to do the bloody same. As supporters, we love your honesty. You go, girl. You bloody rock. Thanks for coming in, mate.
I appreciate that.
Great
Thanks,
to see you.
guys.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's been fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. Go well. Best of luck for the season.
Thank you so much.
Look
Up the
forward-
Wahines.
Yeah.
Our
let's
first
go.
home game, guys, is the 13th of July against the Eels. I can't remember what time we kick off, but 13th of July, doubleheader. Warriors are playing West Tigers after, so you've got no excuse. Come and support us and watch our game and get in behind the movement of the Warriors women's team.
Great plug.
Great plug. Love it. See, that's what you do, girls. Professional. She got the plug in at the end, even after all that chat. Thank you very much. Go well. And up the Wahine, as you say. Looking forward to that July 13th. The season kicks off.